So let's move south, and we're going to Argentine. And I'm really pleased to introduce Violeta Lacrosse. When I saw her 2-minute pitch video, I started to cry. She is responding to youth loneliness and the mental health crisis among young people, including escalating suicide. She has developed, together with partners who are also IDG ambassadors, an immersive 3-day journey, Contribuir, an incubator for inner development and human flourishing. Please welcome our youngest speaker that just turned 22, Violeta.
Thank you, thank you. Today, young people under 30 make up half of the world's population. We are the most educated, committed generation in history, driven by a deep desire to make the world a better place. And yet, with all this potential, humanity still struggles to hold us. In Argentina, every 20 hours, a teenager takes his or her own life. In 2023, suicide became the leading cause of death among girls aged 10 to 19. It was the second cause among boys, and for men in their 20s, the rate was 3 times higher. For every life lost, there are in between 10 and 30 attempts. Suicide is only one symptom of a quiet crisis that affects youth everywhere. 1 in 4 say they felt lonely for more than a year. 1 in 7 struggle with a mental disorder, mainly anxiety or depression. But half rarely talk about this at home. Screen time rises to 7 hours and 22 minutes a day. We live in a paradox, hyper-connected yet deeply disconnected, living in a digital world of rules of its own, algorithms, likes, and filters. A world where you can belong and still feel invisible. Now, behind each of these numbers, there's a face, a name, a story, a silent wound of disconnection, one too heavy for one generation to carry on its own. But let's be honest, it's not only about youth, it's not only about us. We all know what disconnection feels like. You, me, and the person next to you. Nkyra was born in the middle of the COVID pandemic from a shared wound and a shared dream. Nkyra means anchor, and above all, it's about hope. We are a human development incubator, led by young people. We incubate immersive community experiences to rehumanize. For us, our wounds are not places of failure, but places to reconnect. For us, our wounds are our most powerful bridges. 3 years ago, the founders came to this very summit and met the IDG. Since then, the 5 dimensions have become the backbone of our work, not as slides, but as practice. For 3 days, we gather 150 students from different contexts in Argentina. They leave behind the noise of grades, screens, and expectations and step into a space of presence. A living container where they are held with love, tenderness, and care so they can just be. Imagine this. On day 1, they arrive unsure, curious, a little nervous. You can feel the mix of excitement and fear in the air. We set the scene and focus on getting inspired. Through movement, conversation, reflection, dance, art, and music. And that's where the magic happens. Experiential learning. We dare to dream big, to imagine a new future, and 2 questions begin to rise. Who am I? Who do I want to be? And by day 2, something changes. We focus on getting empowered, and we start small, going inward, listening to our inner voice and to others with empathy. We explore 3 IDG dimensions: being, thinking, and relating. We discover that real leadership begins from within, that the planet is a gift, that we're all interconnected, and maybe for the first time, we begin to realize, I'm not alone. My life is meaningful. And by day 3, the energy is different, alive. It's time to focus on getting humanized. We go deep as a tribe, collaborating, acting, sharing commitments, and celebrating life, realizing that flourishing happens with others. Only 3 days, and something shifts forever. We flourish in every dimension: body, heart, mind, and soul. Information becomes experience, experience becomes connection, and connection becomes transformation. Contribuir holds. It embraces pain, turning wounds into wisdom and isolation into belonging. And it's not only about students, it's about all of us. Because when one person heals, the whole community changes. Here's a couple of testimonies. Benja said, I learned to heal in community, to reconcile with myself, my family, and the world. Carlos shared, in giving, I found part of myself that made me feel alive and more human. Now let me add one more voice, mine. It's my 2nd time at this summit. I lived many nkyra experiences, but now I coordinate Contribuir with Ramon. Over the past years, I've learned a lot, but especially how powerful it is when someone chooses to trust us. So often we're underestimated, treated as we have to deserve our voice. But in nkyra, it's different. We're invited to lead, to build, to think, to co-create. And that trust allowed me to reconnect, to be truly myself. This year, I brought my dad to the summit. I asked him to come because nkyra didn't only change the way I lead, it changed how I live and how I love. We don't agree on everything, and we don't have to, because we've learned to meet, we've learned to really meet, and we're still learning. Maybe you came here with someone you love, maybe you came by yourself, or maybe you're joining through the live stream. But let's take a moment to breathe and place your hand over your heart. Take a moment to come back home and reconnect. Feel that beat. Can you feel it? That's the thread nkyra protects, the one that reminds us of our shared and sacred humanity. Today, young generations don't need to be fixed. We need to be trusted, to be seen, held, and loved. We need your help to incubate more spaces where inner development is not a buzzword, but daily bread. So if our work speaks to you, please reach out. Rehumanization doesn't start out there. It starts right here in each one of us. Come find us. We can't do this alone. And we were never meant to. Thank you.
Voice for a whole generation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Violetta. Yeah, you did it again. You made me cry again. And I just realized maybe it has to do with the fact that my sister took her life at the age of 17. And I just wonder how many of you have people in your families or in your, among friends who actually this happened to. Yeah. So we're all somehow affected. Yeah. How are you, Anita? How is this for you?
Stories from the field are beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're all carrying them.
And these 3 stories are just, scratching the surface. There are thousands of these stories out there. And let's put the spotlight on them and spread it, because it is possible. And for you who are here, you can go down into one of the community lounges and see the other stories on posters and maybe meet some of the people behind them. If you are online, you can go to House Space and you can go to the subspace in House Space called Stories from the Field and read more about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yeah.